Most dynasty rebuilds fail, not because of bad luck. It's because you're doing it the wrong way. So in today's video, we're on the site, Flock Fantasy. Check it out for free, man. Great site. I'm going to break down the best way to rebuild in Dynasty this offseason. Now listen closely. Rule number one. Are your ears open? I hope they are. And special subscribe button, please. Appreciate everyone wanting off the channel. We got a Patreon too. You can check it out for the best advice. It's really the best way to rebuild your team. Go join that thing. But listen, rule one. 1 to 2 years max. If your rebuild is taking more than that, man, you are doing things incorrectly. You want to take 1 to 2 years to rebuild. As soon as things stable out, you start shifting to contending. And you'll know when your roster and record start reflecting that change. But how do we actually get there, and how do you know if you're in a rebuild? You're in a rebuild if you keep losing. If you're in the bottom half of the league, the bottom 6 teams, arguably even like number 6 itself. But if you're in that bottom half, man, and your team just doesn't have the value, like if your team was injured or if something unforeseen happened, like if you had Malik Neighbors, if you suffered the injury bug, do not overreact into thinking your team is a rebuild. Because if you had McCaffrey and he was injured, you had Neighbors and he was injured, you had anybody that missed Scatabo, like, don't panic. I had a Dynasty team this season that should have won the league. But I had Amari and Hampton. He missed time. And I had a lot of players that were just banged up at the wrong time for my team. And I didn't have the flex depth to necessarily cover those losses in production. So an important tip, just in Dynasty in general, is that championships are won not necessarily at the top of your roster, but they're won in the flex spot. If you have good flex players, if you have good depth, that is a lot of the time how Dynasty matchups and championships are won. So that's kind of the reason I lost my Dynasty league, and how I'm not necessarily panicking into a rebuild. I should have went contending mode and traded my picks, and I should have contended and built that flex spot depth. But instead, I kind of did a soft rebuild, is what you can call it, and I accumulated draft picks for the next season. Here we go, though. Tip number one. If you are proud of how many draft picks you own, you are probably rebuilding the wrong way. What do I mean by that? If you have 4 2027 first-round picks or a bunch of second-round picks, that's not how you do things, man. Let me tell you why. There are only 9 good players in this year's 2027 draft class. There's 9 guys where I can tell you, listen, man, this guy's going to be solid. This guy's going to be a good player. You're going to get value out of that pick. Whereas if you traded that first round pick and you got somebody that actually we know is good, let's look at the rankings right here. You know, first round pick for Brian Thomas Jr., one of those 4 first round picks. You know, you don't necessarily, to rebuild, it's not about having great rookie drafts. That's definitely a part of it. And that's part of the tips as well, is to rebuild, you're going to have to hit on some guys in these rookie drafts. So just because you have the pick, you want to make the most of it. Dynasty is about value points. How much value is your team worth? What is the current value status of my team? And let me tell you something. If you have a first round pick, it's only as valuable as what you put it towards. If you trade your first round pick, a mid to late first, for Brian Thomas Jr., and he comes out in year 3 and he drops 17 point per game average, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That Dynasty pick that was worth 3,000 value points is now worth 4,000 value points because BTJ, he is now moving up the rankings. So that's how you hit on that first round pick. If that first round pick, you instead took the shot, bam, Kenyon Sadiq at the 107 spot. He comes out, he balls. And Kenyon Sadiq, he averages, 17 points per game in a tight end premium format. Bam, you made value. Now, if you take the shot at the 107 on a guy like Dante Moore, and Dante Moore comes out, averages 7 points per game. He's the prime Scam Darnold on the Panthers. And Dante Moore tears his ACL and his shoulder blade pops out of his shoulder while throwing on the same play. Uh-oh, you just lost 3,000 points in value, and you should have traded that pick, or you should have went somewhere else with that pick, right? So you have to emphasize the importance of utilizing the value of your pick selections. Second round picks. Second round picks typically have low hit rates, especially in 2027. This specific offseason, I'm urging you, your 2027 second round picks, trade them. Trade them for value before people catch on. I think that's going to be a very weak class, especially at running back in 2026. So that's another big time tip. You don't rebuild by selling trash. You rebuild by selling players people still would like. This is a big misconception that people have, right? Like, if you're a rebuilding team, your team sucks. So if you're a rebuilding team, your team is not good. Nobody wants Cooper Kupp. You're just going to make people mad. If you're trying to trade Cooper Kupp, like, be realistic. No one's giving you a second round pick for Kupp. You got to play Dynasty for the game it is. Take small value wins. Nobody wants Cooper Kupp, but nobody wants Brashard Smith either. Are they wrong for that? Nobody wants Tesla. Are they wrong for that? Right? Like, nobody wants Kupp, but look at the rankings. You're telling me Tesla is worse than Kupp, which he is, but think of the long game here. If Isaac Tesla, and I'm big on Tesla, I'll get the breakdown here. Dan Campbell, he makes his receivers own it, earn it. Amon-Ra had 13 points per game in his rookie year. He had his lowest snap rate in his rookie year. Amon-Ra only played 75% of the snaps in the preseason. Amon-Ra got way better. Amon-Ra's obviously insane now. Jameson Williams shot somebody, had guns in his car, drugs, suspensions, injuries. He was terrible for 3 years. Jameson earned it in year 4. Tesla, Dan Campbell saying good things. They're going to have a new OC. Tesla looked good in his rookie season. I expect by year 3 of Tesla's career, he's one injury away from earning a bigger role. So that's what you want to do, is you want to trade trash for more trash. That's what you're going to have to do. You don't want to, but you got to hit on some upside shots here. So you got to kind of tier around the trash and try hitting on value. So that's a good tip right there. Chase the upside instead of value insulation. So what that means is, in a rebuild, you're not looking for somebody steady. You're not looking for a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson. Let's go find where Wan'Dale Robinson is in these dynasty rankings. Michael Wilson would be a good example, right? Michael Wilson, you would have thought that he was a consistent player. He was averaging 7 or 8 points per game. Yeah, 8 points, 7.7 points. You don't need somebody like that on your team. You want to trade for somebody that has the chance to pop, almost like a Michael Wilson. Like, if you traded for him before, but like Wan'Dale Robinson, what good is Wan'Dale Robinson going to do on your team? 13 points per game, 10 points per game. It's not good enough. You know, there's not much value insulation there. You want to chase guys with upside, guys that can really, like, just because that they might go up or they might go down, but you have to hit on these shots as part of a rebuilding team. So you got to chase guys with the ceiling. Like, value insulation means this. Trey McBride and Brock Bowers. These guys are not going to be changing much in the rankings. You don't need to trade for Trey McBride or Brock Bowers, because that's like what a contending team would target. You need to trade for somebody that can potentially go up in the rankings. So let's look at somebody like Bucky Irving, which actually we're not doing him because he sucks. Brian Thomas Jr. Trading for Brian Thomas Jr. here, I do believe there's a world where BTJ pops off in year 3, in year 4. Jacoby Myers is 30 years old, and I could see BTJ rising all the way up from 42nd in these rankings, all the way up to top 20 again. That's in the realm of possibilities here. Now, he's not very value insulated, because if he has another slow start to his season, if he plays bad, if Parker Washington has a role, if Travis Hunter's a wide receiver, BTJ could go all the way down to 60s, 70s. That's for sure. But that's not how you rebuild. So again, chase upside instead of value insulation. Make sure you time things correctly. Do not hoard 26-year-olds, 27-year-olds, 28-year-olds, 29-year-olds. You're rebuilding for 1 to 2 years. By the time a guy like, let's see. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is kind of a decent example, to be honest. Like, by the time a guy like Nico Collins and CeeDee Lamb, they're 27. By the time your team is in contend mode in 2 years, both of those guys are 29 years old. Both of those guys are in their prime right now. This year, next year, the year after, which would be the first year where you're contending, right? Like, you don't want to waste their value for no reason. You're in rebuild mode. It means get value out of your players while you can. The value doesn't come from CD being in his prime right now, giving you 20 points per game this season. It doesn't. It comes from you trading CeeDee Lamb, down tiering to 2 guys who are 23 right now, who in 2 years are 25, and now they're both averaging 15 points per game for you in 2 years when you're in contending mode. So hopefully that helps. Now, here's the biggest tip. I mean, my biggest tip right now would be to trade the 2026 second-round picks, right, and try capitalizing value while you can. But the biggest one that people overlook, if you are on Sleeper, which most Dynasty leagues are on Sleeper, my favorite tip is about changing the nickname of your players. You can nickname your players, every single one of them, with what you would trade them for in terms of value, which usually is in draft picks. So on Sleeper, every single person on my team has value assigned to them. Dak Prescott, I think it says something like mid-first or early first, whatever it is. You know, a guy, every single person on your team, you can assign what you think would be a fair starting price. Usually go a little bit conservative. If you're going to be the one receiving offers, set the price conservative so people are willing to offer you stuff. Just keep in mind, they will be mad. Like if you put Devontae Smith and then you put late first and someone offers you a late first for him and you decline it or you start negotiating, they're going to be mad and they won't trade with you again. So you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons of that. In terms of trading in general, if you're in a league where you can't rebuild, a lot of people say, I can't rebuild, man. No one's taking my trades. Okay, I get it. That's unfortunate. I have one solution for you, and it might not work in your league. My league that I'm in is kind of similar to this. It's about quantity and hard work over quality. Not about how many trades you complete. All the trades you send, you should still be winning value. It is about sending countless offers. Like I'm talking about send out 30 trade offers a week. And send them the DM, send them the ping. Hey, check your inbox. You know, if you're in an inactive league, it's going to take a lot of offers to get a fish on the line. But eventually you'll get a fish on the line. Bam, small value win. Another important thing here is timing. Think about those inactive leagues. When are they most active? They're most active around the combine. People are going to be valuing these picks differently. And they're most active during the actual rookie draft itself. My inactive league, it's not totally inactive, but it's mostly inactive. It's very active. The most amount of trades, I think I pulled off 7 trades last year or more during the rookie draft. During the rookie draft, guess what I did? I traded into the 3rd round. I got 3 third-round picks. Well, 2 third-round picks and a 4th. I took Harold Fannin. I'm a genius. I took Gunnar Helm. I took Gatson. I capitalized on value gains that I saw and opportunities I saw. I got tests all right. So we smashed in 2025. We got the best rebuilding advice out there. I hope this video helped, gave you some advice for this offseason and rebuilding team. There's brighter times ahead if you do as you should. Join the Patreon. Please subscribe to this channel. See you boys in the next one. We'll have a contending video out next.